Hello everyone, this is Nick. I just want to touch real quick on scopes. I didn't get much into it in my last video. As you can see, I'm in the process of mounting another scope here. This is for the ones that don't know. Just slight education. When it comes to buying a scope, picking out a scope, just really do your homework and get the one that will best fit your needs. Okay. Here in the western states, you probably really don't need much more than a 3 to 9 by 40. Just a little information. So the 40, or this scope here, it's a 50 millimeter. It's the size of the objective lens here. Okay. Just to clarify what that means, it means you're going to have a wider field of view downrange when you're zoomed all the way out from the magnification, okay, compared to like a 40 millimeter. Some people think it allows more light in, so you have a brighter field of view, I guess, or you can see more, it's brighter, lets more light in. That actually has more to do with the size of the tube. Okay, this is a 1-inch tube. A 30 millimeter tube is bigger, it's going to allow more light in, so you have a brighter picture when you're looking through your scope. Now, the bigger objective lens does let some more light in, but it's not what gives you a brighter picture. This gives you a wider field of view when you're looking downrange with your magnification zoomed all the way out on your target. So that's that. Another thing, when you're picking your scope, you want to make sure that when it's mounted, okay, let me take my level off of there, you're gonna have enough clearance. Your scope's not gonna hit your barrel when it's resting in the mounts. Okay, this one has plenty of clearance. I'd show you, but I don't feel like moving my camera. Okay, it has clearance all the way around. My hammer's clear. The side gate, ejection port's clear. Barrel's clear. That's another thing you gotta keep in mind, because when you're setting up a hunting rifle, you want your scope as close to that barrel as possible. You don't want it mounted 3 inches high. You want it as close as you can to that barrel without obstructing anything. You don't want that barrel being hit, because it'll throw off you don't want the barrel or the scope resting on the barrel. It'll throw off your sight. Okay, every time you fire, that recoil will screw it up. So you gotta make sure you have plenty of clearance. So I'm gonna finish setting up this scope. If you want to see that in detail, I made a video, Scope Mounting 101. It goes over everything on how to finish mounting a scope. I lapped these rings, so I know that's all good. I just got to set up the field of view and torque everything down, make sure it's level. So again, when it comes to scopes, do your homework. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a scope. You don't need to buy the scope for what you're using it for. You're in the western states, you're going to want probably something that zooms out a little bit, maybe a 20 magnification. But it doesn't need to be a 50 millimeter optic lens. Sorry about that. That was the dogs in the background. So, like I was saying, you're in the western states, you might want something that zooms out to a 16 or 20 magnification, because you're going to shoot longer ranges out there. Some of the wild game out there, you're 200 plus yards, 250 yards. In the eastern states, maybe 100 yards, maybe 150 yards, depending on where you're at, you might be shooting. So get the scope for what you're using it for. So this is a 3.5 by 10, 3.5 to 10 by 50. It's going to be a nice field of view when that thing's zoomed all the way out. And all it does is it makes it easier to find your target if they're moving around. You won't lose them in the scope as easy. So make sure you get the scope for what you're using it for. Make sure you do your homework too about the height of the scope rings you need so you have plenty of clearance. A lot of thought goes into your scope or your optics and mounting it. You can't just pick scope rings and slap it on a firearm. You're gonna run into issues if you don't do your homework. So it's very important that you make sure you get the scope for what you're going to use it for, get the proper rings for the firearm you're putting it on, make sure you have clearance, and in the end, when it's all mounted right, you'll be satisfied. All right. Thank you.